Welcome, everybody, crypto enthusiasts and everyone alike. We actually have a fantastic guest with us today, FashionCoder. Folks, if you do not know who this woman is, she is an absolute amazing person. She just hit 5,000 subs on her channel, so let's give her a huge congratulations. She is a fashion lover and, of course, a crypto enthusiast. So let's bring her on, guys. Let's say hello, give the likes, give the subs to FashionCoder. How are you?
Hello, I'm so good. How are you doing, ATX?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And again, usually, whenever we have some chats, my name's Nathan. I know you go by
Okay.
Rachel. Do you want to go
Yeah.
ATX or Rachel or Fashion Coder or whatever?
Yeah. Rachel's fine.
Cool, cool. Well, guys, we actually have a phenomenal guest with us today. And if you don't know, this is someone who's been in the Hexagon ecosystem for a little bit. You actually discuss a ton of different projects, which is very rare for someone in our ecosystem to not receive like all the drama that comes along with this. So how do you go about navigating that little crazy different projects slash stay within our ecosystem? How does that work?
That's a great question. And something that I've actually realized recently is that people that do talk about other things like kind of get not canceled, but get a lot of heat from.
A
And I've
lot.
realized I've never had that happen to me. Um, and I honestly like I have my subscribers, they'll ask me to like do different videos on different things. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll do that. And so I don't ever take money for doing any of my videos because I want it to be authentic
Okay.
to what I think and I don't want to be paid by someone to have to like say what they want me to say, if that
Right.
makes sense. And so all of it's me. So if I say something, then that's like what I've been researching or whatever it is. So yeah, I like doing just like different overview videos because like no one else is doing it really. So
Well, I know that's what I'm just surprised because, like you said it best. A lot of people who talk about as soon as they mention one new project, it's like our community is a rabid hound dog. If you like to put it bluntly, guys. Anytime someone mentions a new project, it's like, "What are you doing? Only Hex, only Hex," and it's a crazy thing that you actually are able to navigate that path. I'm very thankful for you because I get to hear a bunch of different topics, a different thing from new communities that I've never even given the time to even hear about. Now, even myself, I primarily only talk about Hex, PulseChain, and
yeah.
PulseX publicly, just because, again, it's what it's how I feel comfortable talking about it, right? I know it's gonna probably be here for the long run. The chances that it succeeds are, we'll say 99.9999999 indefinitely, right? So,
Uh-huh.
I feel pretty comfortable there. We got fun questions having people ask already. Ivan's already asking, Fashion Coder, when V3?
Kate, that's a great question, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Um,
Of course,
my
of
dad
course.
keeps telling me he's like in the next week, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know. Like,
How
I
long has he
really,
been telling you that?
yeah, right. Since last Sunday,
Okay,
so
fair enough.
yeah, so not that long.
No, that's a perfect thing because we got folks in the community that are like, it's launching in the next 24 hours. It's launching in the next day. It's give it, and it's like all the people who have that hopium going are just absolutely hilarious. If you ask me, thank you so much for the new subscribe on that too. But in regards to Win V3, my guess personally was the same thing as your dad actually. I
Okay.
actually do say within the next week, and that was probably I was saying that last week as well.
Yeah.
And the reason why is I'm breaking it down from more of a perspective as to the stages, right? We know everything's syncing, we know everything is happening. So every single time we got up to stage 10 last time, and then we had to revert back to stage 7, we went back to stage 10. I think we're kind of bouncing in there, and as long as there's no bugs, we could possibly see it happen this weekend. Do you ever take anything away from Richard Hart's tweets when he goes on a freaking fury of tweets? Do you think anything's is there something to decipher with all those tweets?
Sometimes. And typically when he when he does all of those tweets, I always like will go in and research whatever it is. So I actually
Okay.
did a video. on the vocab that he was using within his tweets of the
Yep.
different like technical terms, because I was like, what the heck is going on? Like I don't know. And so if I don't know, I feel like other people probably don't know too. And
Facts.
yeah, I think there's two sides of it. I think one side is marketing, of actually giving an update and being like, okay, well, they want an update, like the people want an update, so I'm
Mm,
going to give an update in some way. And so
mm,
he kind of spits out, I think, what his developers tell him, which is why I think it doesn't make a ton of sense, because they're so into what they're doing. And
right.
then also, like, if I was creating a whole blockchain, like I would want to tweet about it. So
No, it's so okay. So I was looking back just because I get I like data. I'm a freaking huge data nerd when it comes to me diving into blockchains, me diving into wallets, me diving in and doing different spreadsheets. I'm a data type guy. I've always been that way. I know I come across that way to some people when they start seeing that different side of me. Because I love just data, right? Like, give me all the data I can possibly get, and then let me infer however I can. And so that's what I almost fell in love with Hex whenever I first started. It was like there was websites for days with data for days as to like why it could be good, and then I could make my own decision. It wasn't just one person being like, "Here's a new crypto," and then I buy it, right? So
yeah.
in the last 24 hours, I went through and counted before this stream. In the last 24 hours, Richard Hart tweeted 52 times. He retweeted 10 times, and he only had 2 tweets about PulseChain within 24 hours. Okay, so so this is where I'm talking data now. Like, we have less than 5% data in terms of mentions of PulseChain, but before yesterday, he would tweet once a week for the last 9 weeks about PulseChain, some update, regardless of what it was. So ever since January 3rd, when we first got the first tweet this year of PulseChain, it was saying, hey, PulseChain's doing good, and people were like, and like it just first started, and then we got that little ramp up, right? We've seen
Yeah.
the price go crazy. Every week he started just having 1 or 2 tweets, but it wasn't anything crazy in between. It would be PulseChain primarily. But yesterday he went on a freaking rampage, and I mean like 62 tweets. Dude, and he told everyone to turn on notifications. And I feel so bad to anyone who turned it on and saw that for the first time of Richard Hart, because he normally doesn't tweet that much.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think there's anything about that? Do you think he's trying to like okay, here's my real question. Do you think he's doing that to almost make it seem like not expecting proof of work from others? Because if he doesn't talk about it and he talks about everything else out of 100 tweets and then one of them is about PulseChain, do you think he's doing that for like covering bases, or what's your thoughts?
I do think it could potentially be partly that of, covering bases, but then also, I mean, he did tweet so much.
It
And
was
I
so
have
much.
notifications put
I
on,
know.
and I'm sure you do too. And I have for what, like a year now or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
And so like it definitely was like, oh, okay, like here we are with this. But yeah, no, yesterday was, or well, and I guess today, it's definitely been something. I don't know if you saw the tweet where he was talking about uh being humble and humility.
Yep.
And how yeah, of course you did. You got the
Yep.
notification.
Of course, of course.
And just like how he's like changing the narrative. And
Mhm.
so I have no clue how tweeting that much would be like a humility thing, but I do think that it is something that's moving towards a different marketing
Oh my
standpoint.
god. Yeah, he said he's trying, okay? Let's just be
Yeah.
fair. He said he's trying to become more humble. No, he definitely had many topics where he was well above, and I called the top on the day, and he changed all of his website. I'm sure you've seen
Yeah.
every revamp of his style, and I'm a big fan. For those of y'all who don't know Richard Hart back in the day, this was the guy who like taught people about crypto. That's where I learned about him. And then we got to see the outrage marketing, and that was just I mean, he gained like 3x followers. So, does it work? Sure. Like, was it what our community wanted? No, right? But, like, did it work? Yeah. His name is more well known now than it was, a year ago. So, um, it's always crazy. I definitely think he's switching it up. He's trying to learn how to embrace the next chapter of his life. And what I say is, it's always we have a book of life, and right? And that's what I always describe in everything. and you're what you're going through right now is just merely a chapter or a page in that book of life, right? And so like we always want to get to the next page faster, but you got to get through that first page in order to really have a good understanding. Well, he's finally flipped to the next chapter. So we're finally seeing this new side of Richard Hart come through, massively in love with it, because I think he's knowing that he's going to have a more public figure appearance soon. So like, yeah, I try to infer a whole bunch of stuff like PulseChain launching soon. I don't know, like I can only guess, right? But I do want to hear your thoughts, you know, on what you're most excited about when it comes to PulseChain.
What am I most excited about? Well, I have loved going through testnet. Like, my background's in software development, and for a little while, I did work as a quality assurance tester. And so I actually went through different software to basically break it. And so going through testnet has been really fun. And so I'm excited for when it actually launches, of going through and just like using all the different functionalities. It's like a playground, and being
Right.
able to go through that, like, I'm super excited about that from a software standpoint. But then just like from a crypto standpoint, I'm really excited for PulseX, and just to see like how the buy and burn is going to work, and how just everything within that is going to be.
Right.
So I think PulseX is like really what I'm excited for. And then also all of the other projects that aren't Richard Hart projects, I'm excited to see how those perform, because, it's been this whole ramp up, and people have dedicated their whole lives to their projects that are going to be on PulseChain. So
Right.
I'm excited to see just, like, are those projects actually going to be successful? And are those projects actually going to be what they say they're going to be?
Right.
I'm excited for that. What are you excited for?
Yeah, so a lot. In regards to the test net, I think everyone should, and if they haven't, still go test out even on V2B. Just have some practice. It just gets that much more familiar when you become doing something as a daily. And that's what I'm really right now excited for V3 just to test it, because when you start building stuff and you can actually make it into a daily habit, it becomes a lot easier. So when it comes to what we're going to have available for us, the new projects that are going to be coming, there are a few that I do have my eyes on that I hope do very well. Because I think the basic point is we need a foundation. And you get your foundation by PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on both chains. So Ethereum and PulseChain, right? I think you have a solid foundation with those, and then you can start branching into more projects. So I think everyone should first, personally, not financial advice, you do your own thing, boo. You know what I mean? But I think everyone should have an idea to set the foundation, get your four pillars stable, and once that's set, then you can start branching out into the different world, into the different ecosystems, because crypto is very, very volatile, very quick, and it can happen to where something amazing can come out. And that's why I'm excited for what's going to be coming, who's going to be coming, and what they're going to be able to bring. You know, the lending platforms I think are going to be huge because we don't really have any way to extract value from HEX right now. And that's one of the things that I've always found an issue with HEX personally, is that it's so hard to extract value. We can do like Hedron and icosa now. That's another derivative play and another derivative asset of the communist token and everything else that's coming along. So there are different derivatives that are coming from it, Maxi, you know, the Desi Club and all those people. But I think once we start branching out of our own ecosystem and into, you know, what's able to be built, the fiat guys, I think you just did an interview with them um, not too long ago. That was a phenomenal little interview you had as well. So
Oh, awesome.
was there any project that really stood out to you that's like, damn, this is gonna be epic? Because you got Power City, you got Fiat doing their thing and Famous doing his thing. You have entire communities that are also being built from just Pulse Chain, and I think this is going to be huge.
Oh my goodness. It's so hard to say. Like, I feel like I don't have top ones. I sacrificed for a ton of them. And just because I believe, like, in Pulse Chain and
Yep.
in products, even at this point, I don't really remember which ones I sacrificed for, because that was like a year ago, right? And so I'm like, I
Right.
probably should have written that down, but it's okay. I'll just find tokens in my wallet, and that'll be
Uh,
great.
love it.
Um,
Yeah.
But let's see. And there's liquid loans, and there's just so many, and I don't like want to leave any out,
Yeah,
because
so have you seen Fiat's website, fatty.io?
uh-huh.
Phenomenal, right? And so what's really cool, you can actually check all your sacrifices there too.
Yeah, that's right. That is
Yeah,
right.
yeah, a little
I
reminder. So like I found out about it and I was like, I remember what I sacrificed for.
I
Because
love
you got to think that was like a year and a half ago, and a lot of these sacrifices just kind of came through and left, and then I didn't think about it because nothing's come
yeah.
along with it. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I haven't given it an ounce of thought since then. And it was cool because they do have that website available.
Okay, I'll have to go and do that because the only way that I knew that I sacrificed for some of them was through the weight token.
Mm,
And so
yep.
I like to go in and check there, and I was like, I know I sacrificed for other ones that like aren't included. So okay, I'll have to go do that.
Yep. Yeah, and to anyone who doesn't know, it's just fatty, PHATTY.io. You can check out the website. They have a massive, cool website that I'm a big fan of that they're building. You can see public figures like Godwill addresses and all that. Because, again, me being a data nerd, they provide all the data for me. It's like, here's all the addresses. Check them out. And I'm like, I can dive in. And I do a dive in. Uh, we got Crypto Mike in the house, guys. Smash the like button for having our friend Rachel, Fashion Coder, here with us today. She is an absolute amazing guest. We have Crypto Mike asking any launch price predictions. Now this comes with every stream, so let's just hear what you got to say.
Okay, so I did some math
Love
because
it.
math is my favorite subject. Okay, so if you sacrificed for PulseX or PulseChain, for every dollar, it was 10,000 coins per dollar. Is that
Yep,
correct?
that is
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
We'll say ten
So,
thousand points for now, just for
yeah,
technical purposes.
exactly. So, with that, for every one coin, it would be worth 30, so 0.301.
Yep.
So, I think there's mad potential that it could have a 10x like pretty quick. And I honestly think that's somewhat conservative just because, there's so much hype around it. And when we typically see launches, the curve, it goes up and then goes down. And then like there will be
Uh,
a belly and then it'll go back up. So I think that if it was a 10,000 or a 10x just like right off the bat, then it would be 0.001.
yep.
And if it's 100x right off the bat, anywhere in between then it would be that 1 cent. Or yeah, that 1 cent.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think there's potential that it could hit at 1 cent, but that's definitely more on the, I don't know, not as conservative side of things.
So it sounds crazy to us because it sounds like, you weren't early in Hex, from what I know.
Yeah.
I was not early in Hex. And so I haven't seen the 1000x gain yet that some Hexicans have seen. I've
Yeah.
seen the 20 and 50x gain. I still haven't even seen 100x myself, though. And so what I find to be crazy is that thought of 100x, right? And it doesn't, in crypto, it seems so easy. In
Yeah.
PulseChain, it seems so easy. We have billions of dollars that were sacrificed, right? And so I think there is a possibility from my personal. So is that PulseChain and PulseX, just to make sure I clarify that?
So that's PulseChain.
Okay.
And like just looking at how a ecosystem, so a blockchain coin compares to a DEX coin,
Hmm.
typically, and I think all the time, the the blockchain coin will be the one that does better.
Right.
But PulseX is different in the sense that there is the buy and burn, and that there's just things within that, right? And so it's going to make it so it's not as available because of the buy and
Okay.
burn.
Okay.
So off the bat, I mean, I don't think PulseX is going to do as well as the Pulse token, but I think over a long period of time, there is potential that it could do just as well, but not off like right then.
Facts. Okay. Okay. Cool. So do you think we ever go below sacrifice price?
Um, Not within the first little while, but I definitely think eventually it could hit below sacrifice price, which
Interesting.
actually, I mean, that would be good for me. So I'm like, I'm okay if it goes below
For
sacrifice.
sure. Yeah, I was fortunate enough. I was able to capture the Pulse Chain and PulseX sacrifice. So I will
What's good?
say, like, yeah, I was, I came into the, it was so weird. You know how life just has a funny way of always just working out.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a matter of like you giving it time and just right time, right moment type deal. So I came into the ecosystem. It was probably like March of 2021 or something like that. It wasn't too long, I've been in now 2 years, and what's crazy is in the first like couple months, I think it was around like 3 cents or something like that for Hex, and then I got to see it, kind of run all the way up, and I was like, wow, this is freaking epic. And
Yeah.
so greed kind of caught me because that was the first time I had ever seen something go so crazy, and I didn't sell any. I didn't take
Uh-huh.
any profits. I was like, this is it. It's doing a double every 48 days. This is crazy. And I think I was telling friends, I was like, just another double brings it to $1. Just another, you know what I mean? You start telling anyone that you can about it. And then, we got the sacrifice for PulseChain. It was July of 2021. And that was just so freaking odd because I was like, man, I missed out on such a crazy thing. And then that sacrifice came up and I was like, ba-ching! And it was like this little light. So I went ham because I'd had some profits actually made during that simple time. And I went
Yeah.
ham on the PulseChain and I went ham on the PulseX. So I was very blessed and fortunate when it came to that. I
Yeah.
don't. So I've shown this on my stream so many times. By the way, the average for a Dex return after 1 year is 519x. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So let's just have fun on some simple math, right?
Yeah.
Because again, like math is definitely my jam too. So if you just had, we'll just say $5,000 for example, and you have something go into a 519x, folks, that's $2.5 million. So I need to start getting everyone's head wrapped around the idea of sudden wealth syndrome, and Matty Allen has done this for a long time.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, folks, have a profit taking plan. I don't know if you've already set something up or if you have something in mind, um, because I think that was something I missed on the Hex ecosystem whenever I first got to see it run up. And then I got to hold it all the way down to the sub penny, or not sub penny, we never broke a penny, but to the penny level. And I was like, oh man, I had multiple six figures
Yeah.
turn into less than five figures fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, great accumulation point in time. You can start buying back in and get even more. And that's exactly what I did, right? You just move along and take the punches as they come. But have you thought about your profit taking strategy already? Do you have something in place? Do you talk with your dad about this? Has he been in the crypto game for a little bit of time, or like what's the background behind your dad?
Yeah, so he's been in it for 5 years and I've been in it for four. But I've never taken profits, and that was the mistake of my first bull market.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got in literally the very bottom of the last bear market. And it was just like a blessing type thing that I got in when I did. And so yeah, so I kind of forgot about crypto for a year or two, and then things like really started ramping up. And so yeah, so my dad definitely has taken profits in ways, but he is someone that like I've always talked about money with, because
Mm-hmm.
he's always been like one of those people that has been good with money. And he also, I don't know if you know who Dave Ramsey is. He's certified
Sure
and
do.
has, yeah, been teaching Dave Ramsey courses for 20 years. So that's like his background with that. And so I'm like, okay, well, you're going to help me. So
Surprising that he's in crypto, I gotta say.
I know, right? Because Dave
Yeah.
Ramsey doesn't like crypto.
Completely just despises it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's interesting. That's interesting that
Yeah.
he still has the wherewithal to do it himself, and still make that own decision himself. I saw
Yeah.
some of your videos talking about getting friends into crypto, and I actually made a little segment on that as well. So it's exactly that same thing. If y'all haven't seen that video, go check it out on her channel. Just type in get fashion coder getting friends into crypto. But it was a fun thing that you talked about there. Was the same thing. You talked about how you got in at the bottom almost of the bear market, and you got to see a little bit of money turn into a lot of money in terms of the amount that you invested.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something we all learn, right? We learn in the first cycle. It's a statement that's been true ever since people have been in crypto. You learn in your first cycle, you earn in your second. Well, folks, I hope everyone has learned in their first cycle and has just seen what we can do, and we can start earning. But I know we have new folks that are entering the ecosystem. So, do you have any words of advice for like maybe newer folks who are, maybe a little bit hesitant to take the profits and to, have some sort of strategy, or don't let greed get you, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so when the bear or the bull market happened this last round, is interesting because all my crypto did very well, and
Hmm.
I saw it go to numbers where I was like, I cannot believe that this is where I'm at this point in my life, and I just wish I would have taken even just like 10% profit, because seeing it go up and then also seeing it go down, it's like, okay, there is that, but
Right.
it's like when you see it at that top, it's like, oh, it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up because you see it keep going up, and then eventually, like, it went back down. So
Yeah.
taking profits on the way up, I think, is going to be my next strategy the next time around, just because it is something. It's like I have put so much of my savings into it, and I put so much of my paycheck that I get every 2 weeks into it.
Right.
It's
Right.
like that. I need to still live in the moment, and I mean, of course, like delayed gratification through mining, staking, hex and stuff. Like I never know
Publishing.
what to say now, because I'm like, I want to say what it's called now, but then like no one's. I don't know. Some people know, some people don't.
I don't
But
know
yeah,
if I'm
so
gonna be able to switch it. That took me a long time to. I've been saying you gotta. We've all been saying this terminology for years.
exactly. So there's investment in the future in that, but you do need to pay yourself now, because you need to also live your life now.
Mm, I love that. I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, you definitely need to take care of yourself, and heck, take care of yourself now. Have some fun, right? Life is definitely short. We know that, and at least I do. Life is full of unexpecteds, and so yeah, having the ability to take some profits, have some fun, and let's live life to the fullest is always fun. We got Crypto Mike saying Fashion Coder keeping it real and ATX keeping it real. Ivan asking, what are your thoughts on icosa and Hedron?
Ooh, I like both of them. I think it's cool to see the community like go around hex and make coins that are within the hex ecosystem even in itself, which is
Right.
very interesting. uh Once they started making, I feel like, even like more derivatives within like maxi, all of these different coins, it's overwhelming how much there is.
Right.
And I think that's something that like I personally have struggled with, is once I hit a certain point, I was like, I can't keep up on everything that's happening. And I think it's slowed down, like, to be honest. But in the thick of all of it, it can be overwhelming. So I do like them. Like, nothing against them at all. What are your thoughts?
So, oh goodness, great question. It is a good question, right? So my thoughts get crazy when it comes to different protocols outside of Hex, only because it's that shiny new object type deal that I always see, and I've been able to keep myself from being so short term focused that I focus on this new project. Hedron's been out for a while, and my buddy has like tripled his bag of t-shirts using the HSI auctions. I got him into freaking Hex, and he actually doubled the amount of t-shirts that I have, and based on the icosa auctions and the
Oh, wow.
Hedron auctions. So like kudos to him. Yeah, we were fortunate. We got in. We did the 10x claim when Hedron was first getting announced, and we were fortunate that we got to lock that in. But he went ham when it went to that ecosystem, and so I didn't even get in that far. So for now, what I do with my Hedron is I don't buy any at this time. I just I mint it from what I earn on my stakes already, and then I will hold it and I can stake it there as well and to earn some icosa, and then start earning some more yield. And guess what you do with that extra yield? I buy more hex, and so I go with that route where everything kind of always filters back to the main project, the OG in my heart, that's like allowed me to change a whole bunch of stuff in my life. Like, you got to understand, I used to be crazy addicted to gambling, drinking, smoking, all that stuff. Like long before got into hex, no longer drink, no longer smoke, no longer gamble, right? So my life has changed quite a bit from
Yeah.
that perspective. And so I'm grateful. I'm thankful, and so I have a hard time thinking anything's going to do better. And so, like, while I participate in their systems, I am nowhere near the level of participation that I have with HEX.
Yeah. Same.
So that's how it always is for me. But yeah, I'm excited for what's coming because again, guys, like there's projects that I don't like doing a lot of transactions on Ethereum. Ethereum is expensive, man.
Oh my
Costs a
gosh.
lot of money. And so this isn't even in the bull market. Like were you yeah, you were around 2021 when the
Yeah.
NFT craze was going and the freaking gas fees were costing sometimes $100 to do a swap.
Yeah.
And like you got like for me that again guys my introduction getting out of this because I was messing with like all sorts of stuff before trading and all sorts of
Hmm.
stuff swing trades and centralized finances, so I was in crypto but I wasn't actually in crypto, so I consider myself getting into crypto in 2021, but I was messing with it for many years, but I was in the centralized world and that was that risk that I'm glad that I got out of.
Yeah.
So whenever I learned how to do all this, I was like, man, these are just the fees that you have to pay. It's the price that you pay. And I paid so much in gas fees, not knowing that you should wait until the weekends to transact, not knowing that you should do these at certain times and actually look at the gas fees. And sometimes there'd be like an NFT that just came out and I would pay literally I would like if my buddy would say, hey, I want to get into Hex, I would just send him the Hex initially. That's how I got some people in
Uh-huh.
is I
Same.
would send them, yeah, I would send them the hex and say, you pay me, but I won't do everything else for you. I will teach you, but in the beginning, it just takes time, and I don't want to spend the next, week with you at your house while we wait for Coinbase to clear or something like that. And so
Exactly.
I would say, hey, I could teach you everything. I could get you set up to get started now. Let me send you. And I would always just send it, regardless of the gas fee, regardless of what it was. And so that was a hard lesson that the gas fees have stopped me from transacting as much as I would. So I don't mess with a whole bunch of other stuff. That was a
Yeah.
long way to say I don't mess with a whole bunch of stuff. All right.
I get it. No, I totally get it.
Yeah, for sure. So we got Crypto Jake saying I'm excited for the biggest airdrop. Yes, sir. We got that PulseChain airdrop coming. Congratulations, Fashion Coder, on the 5,000 subs from Crypto Mike. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big shout out. Congratulations. If y'all haven't seen it already, is your gift card still up or can I announce
It,
it?
it's gone actually. So, which is good because we talked about this earlier. So yeah, it's gone. So I had a Starbucks
Uh,
gift card open so people could go get Starbucks, but it
right.
is all used up.
Fair enough. Yeah, exactly. I was going to announce it here just in case someone else wanted to have a chance to get, a free Starbucks. Speaking of giveaways, and I want to talk about this with everyone here cuz I'm looking to do some sort of giveaway myself. I don't know what that giveaway is gonna be yet. I haven't picked. This is back when I was at 700 subscribers. I was like, oh, I should do something when I hit 1,000. Well, I hit 1,000 and I still haven't done anything, by the way, because I don't know what to do. I saw you do the 5,000 or 10,000 hex giveaway.
Hmm.
How was that?
It was good. I probably wouldn't have done it for a week because I like maxed it out. I did
Right,
different daily things. I don't know if you like went in and saw it,
I did.
but the
You had to do a whole bunch of.
software, yeah, so like the software I used was really great because it allowed to like span across like all these different social medias. So I got a lot of like increases in followers on literally every single platform, and it was fun. Like I love giving people gifts. So
Right.
like giving 10,000 hex away. I love that. Giving people Starbucks today. Like I love doing that. And so it's just like something that it's a part of one of my love languages. Like I love gifts, love giving
Hmm.
people gifts. And so there is like that whole side of thing, but it was a lot of work. I'm going to be absolutely real with you. And so I think if I were to do it again, I would scale it back maybe a little bit more of just a couple of days. But yeah, it was good. Like I'm really glad that I did it and it was like a fun thing to do too, especially since I've never done something like that. So, yeah,
So the
highly
the
encouraged.
thought that came to mind for me was the PulseChain or PulseX giveaway because I went ham on it, so I'm gonna have a fortunate amount there. Um, I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know if that's too long of a time frame to because we don't know when it's gonna launch, right? It could be next week, could be next 6 months, it might be next year. Like, guys, we don't know. We don't know when it's gonna launch, so I don't know if I should even bother with like announcing that type of giveaway. I love the idea of the hex giveaway, but I hate giving up my hex.
I know. That was the one thing too, is when I gave that up, it was like a t-shirt was like $800.
Yeah.
I was like, I could literally stake this myself, but I was like, no. I was like, I am going to give this to someone else, and I just pray that they stake it.
Oh goodness, yeah. I thought, well, you did the math for him. You said, guys, if this reaches $5 in the future, fifty
Yeah.
thousand dollars. Like, you say that kind of stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I could give away that hex.
I know. So that was one of the things with it. I think I've thought about doing like a PulseChain or PulseX giveaway as well. My dad would have to supply the PulseChain coin, but I think it could be something that could be good. But then you just have to remind yourself, like, okay, this was allocated towards this, so then you're going to give that away. Um, I don't know. Like I've thought about it too, but who knows when it's going to release?
Right. Yeah, and you know, maybe I do want to. I saw you talk about maybe participating together with another streamer collab or something like that. Maybe we can link up and do a collab giveaway of some sort. I don't. We'll figure
Yeah.
that out. And
Awesome.
later conversations, not necessarily on stream, but yeah, I would love to do something like that. Because I had some hex that I had saved aside, and I'm debating staking it. Like I have such a hard time not staking. Uh, that again, like I see the price of hex, and I've done these predictions, going up to $20 in the next bull market, potentially
Yeah.
$12 to $20, right? And so, like, if I do that math, I'm like, am I literally about to just give away, $100,000 to someone? Like, I know it doesn't seem like 10,000 hex doesn't seem like much around the 5 cent level, but when you start getting up to the dollars, woo it gets a little crazy.
It does.
All right, so Alan Fitzmay says, I like FashionCoder strategy, sacrifice for everything. It's a shotgun strategy.
Yeah, well, so the reason why and I could tell you a little bit more on it is I feel like in a way it was like, okay, I'm a venture capitalist at a very, very small level. And so I want to, put money into these different tokens and then just see how they do. And if I lose the $300 or whatever that I sacrifice, like whatever, it was just $300. Like I probably would have spent that on like one or two outfits or whatever.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, this is like my opportunity to put money into the system and show that I believe in whatever project it is. And if it doesn't succeed, like I'm really not at that much of a loss.
Okay. I can see that. I can, yeah, for sure, because it's like I've spent, we've all talked about it before. You look around your household and look how much stuff you don't use.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I got stuff sitting around for days that I haven't touched forever, and it costs hundreds of dollars. So the potential of putting some in, even for a 2, 3, 5x return, still a lot better. Even that delay is still a lot better because yeah, while it may not launch yet, it's almost like a store value being locked aside that you don't have to worry about. And when it does launch, you have the ability. With some of the projects that you did sacrifice for, I'm always curious because like I don't see myself sell. I have a profit taking strategy when it comes to Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX because I can see them sticking around for years to come.
Yeah.
With other projects, the thing that kind of concerns me is like I would always have the desire to sell on that double 5x whatever that number is because I don't know the longevity of what they're gonna be. Are you planning on? And I'm sorry if I put you on the spot here moving some profit, like, because I'll just say what I plan on doing for those projects that I have. I'm planning on taking some of the profit and basically all of the profit eventually and just injecting it back into the main ecosystem of the four pillars. Is that something that you plan on doing, essentially like a profit and then leave it as house money, so you just take back what you invested and then let it ride?
I think it kind of depends on which one it is. Just
Okay.
because, you know, all of them are going to perform differently, but definitely taking profits and then not even taking like a cash profit, but taking profit and then putting it into one of the big four.
Right. Well, damn it, I don't think we ever got into the Pulse X price prediction, did we? Did you say what your
Kind
Pulse X?
I don't have like an exact. I really
I
don't
just
know.
randomly just
Yeah.
remembered someone said the buy and burn in the chat, and I was like, we never got the price.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Let me look at my little calculations.
Of
I
course, of
really
course.
honestly only did Pulse,
Okay, I'm with you
but
there.
I don't know. Let's do half a cent.
Okay, I love it.
I don't, just
Which would
like
be
tweeting.
which. By the way, that'd be a 50x, guys. Just to make it simple for anyone who's talking about it, it would be a 50x at half a cent. It would be 0.005, right? Half a cent. So I love that. Yeah. So I could see 1000x for PulseChain happening within a year
Okay.
to 2 years, and then I could see the 500x happening between the year for PulseX. Now I think eventually we're gonna move into where PulseX comes ahead. That buy and burn function's a beast. I don't think anything is like that. That allows people to publicly run the function to burn it, where you don't have to rely on an oracle. You don't have to rely on a person clicking the button to burn. Like anyone in the ecosystem can click it. And I think there's already been 100 billion PulseX burned. They
Yeah.
just passed that level, even on testnet. Like guys, you gotta understand. We're talking about testnet where yeah, there's no real money, there's nothing like that, but there's already so many people that have transacted and messed with that system that 100 billion has been burned. That's a lot. That's a lot on a deflationary token. That's beast. So yeah, big fan of all of this. The sacrificers were extremely risky, and crypto taking extreme risk will bring even more extreme rewards. There you go. Congratulations to all who sacked. Tyrannosaurus Hex says.
Love
Well,
it.
I love the name.
Yeah. I've started to tell people, and maybe this is risky, but of course, like it's going to be risky. I've been telling people it's more of a risk for me not to invest in crypto than it is for me to invest in crypto. Because with the gains that are possible, like, why would I take that risk of not getting into it?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, so like it's so tough because you're in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you dive into the crypto ecosystem, the more it seems like why would I ever mess with the stock again? Like
Oh, yeah.
why do I need to go put, 3% of my money every paycheck into a 401k that I can't capture until I'm 60 years old or whatever the age is that you can start pulling that money out? Like why do I so I went through that state. I think everyone who the further down the rabbit hole of crypto you go, the more you realize it's like this is gonna be way better. Like short term, yeah, there's volatility for sure. We see it. We see it right now.
Yeah.
95% drops, like 90% drops. It happens. But then if you actually look long term, you're like, would I rather have a potential to make 100x in 40 years? And granted, this is being small in crypto, by the way, folks. Would I rather have the potential to make 100x in 30 years or make a 2x or 3x in 30 years? Because that's what you get in a 401k. That's what you get in stocks, right? You get a nice little 8% return on your investment every year on average. Nice little 8% return. And like we go through an 8% like it's like you
Oh,
like you blink. Yeah, exactly. Like we went up and did 300% in 60 days. So, you're talking about 8% in a year. Like, yeah, I don't I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I think crypto by far is going to be able to be the main focus for a lot of folks. Now, again, invest what you're willing to to I don't want to say lose, right? It's always tough. I hate saying that word. Invest what you're willing to see drop substantially for a period of time. Let me say that.
that's good.
Because I think there's a huge potential that if you look at this in 3, 5, 10 years, if you were fortunate enough that let's just say you got knocked out in a coma and you woke up 10 years from now, you're way richer 10 years from now doing nothing than you would have been if you tried playing any sort of trading game. So I'm with you there.
Thanks.
What did he say? Alan Fizmay says ATX. I got into Hex when I did. What? He's always so crazy. I got into Hex when I did. Well, good job, Alan. I'm glad you got into Hex when you did. Great stream, Crypto Mike says. Crypto Mike's a big fan of yours, it seems. I love it. I love it. It's great to take some profits on the way, right? And so that's something that check your T-share positions. Make sure your yield continues to come in. Are you going to be playing with PulseX yield farming?
Great question. um, I don't know. I am absolutely going to do the single-sided stake because I think that's great. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's how I want to utilize my PulseX because I didn't get into the pulse chain sacrifice, and that was my own fault because I knew about it. And and it was just so unfortunate because my dad and I Didn't talk about crypto for 3 months, okay?
Mm.
And it was during the sacrifice, and I was getting my master's
Oh
degree,
no.
okay? So, like, there was just no way that I could think about crypto in any way. And so I missed it. And like my sister's boyfriends got into it, like my sisters got into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's okay. Like I went hard into PulseX because I didn't get into PulseChain. So at least there's that. Um, so because of that, I don't know. Like I definitely could do the farming, but I don't know if I want to. Are you going to?
I like the idea of the single-sided staking. Big fan of how that whole worked, how it all worked in the V2B testnet when we got to play with it there. The thing everyone's always curious about is the incentive token. And by the way, folks, the way that works is it comes from whoever's the new project is, and they say, hey, you stake your PulseX with us to our protocol, and we'll provide you with XYZ incentive token. That's what that is. So it's going to be a token in their token, I'm sure, and then it's something that you can make some profit on in exchange. So I will be yield farming, yes,
Okay.
because there will be a portion of my funds that I have the ability to do so. Because you can make a extremely passive income based on that alone. That's well before. So like, I don't think we're gonna get the liquid loans launching probably within the first 30 to 60 days from launch. It's gonna be very volatile, and so I don't see why they would launch because people would get margin called essentially, or they
Yeah.
wouldn't set good collateral ratios, and it wouldn't be good. So I will be yield farming for sure. Um,
Cool.
I don't. Do you think we're waiting for the V3 Uniswap to become available? Which, by the way, is April 1st. I just looked it up.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
April 1st is when the license ends for their code to actually become public at that point in time and truly open sourced. And so I think if it does happen by April 1st and and PulseChain isn't here yet, I don't know why we wouldn't try to implement that as well, because then you can get the single-sided, not even staking and earning that, you actually get to provide a single-sided liquidity pool as well, and that's when
Oh,
things can get really fun.
yeah. See, and if that was a thing, I would absolutely do it. I don't know. I definitely think that they'll look at it, and just with seeing how the Pulse Chain developers have been,
Right.
they are utilizing other people's code, which
Hmm.
is the way to be a smart developer, right? Is to look at other people's code, and it's cool that they've found bugs in other people's code too. So I'm sure that they'll take a look at it.
Right. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. They've looked at everything else so far. They've definitely taken a lot from a lot, and they've been able to modify it. They have to change all these numbers and all these little increments, and like the zeros that we're adding on are going to be a lot, so the system has to be able to handle all of that. Hey, Alan Fitzmay says I don't like Hedron. I guess whatever I said. J-Man in the house. ATX is a fantastic content creator. FashionCoder is a fantastic content creator and very pretty. Keep going, guys. That's coming from Corey Costa's Crypto Coins. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Corey Costa. Appreciate that as well. And by the way, folks, I will be on Corey's stream as well in April. So that's happening, soon
Ooh,
enough. Yeah.
Corey's awesome.
Yeah. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun chatting with everyone in our ecosystem. I think all of us have a very similar like-minded idea that, we're in this for the long haul. A lot of us are staked for 15 years, myself included. And so unless something just catastrophic happens in my head that like triggers me to do something to wreck myself, I don't see me going away anytime soon. But we say, Tyrannosaurus Hex says, I agree, mining APY for both Hex and PLSB will be a good play. Yeah, and so there's going to be all the different yield farming tokens that's going to be available. I mean, heck, have you looked at V2B in a while? Have you messed with it?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think the last time I hop on every once in a while just to have fun with the test. Now I'm waiting for V3. I am. I want to go
Yeah.
ham playing with V3. I want to see. Do you think we're gonna see the actual ratios for V3? Like basically like everything that we have right now, all the things captured, the AMM bot working. Because that's the one thing I'm concerned about is the AMM bot at this time. I don't think he said anything about it. Have you heard anything? Am I missing
No,
that?
I haven't heard anything.
So that's the one. That's the only. That would be my only concern right now as to like why we may be delayed, because the AMM bot's supposed to be taking over everything. It's supposed to be able to ratio, make sure everything's correct in terms of where everything's ratioed, the liquidity with everything. But if you look at yield farming right now with all the farms, we got tokens earning 34, 31, 30%, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why I think we have a lot of more options that's going to become available to us in the very near future. Yeah, guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe to me and to Fashion Coder. Her link for the channel is down in the description. If it's not, I will definitely. Oh, all of her socials are down in the link for the description. I was like, I don't remember putting that in the channel. All of her link to all the socials and Linktree are down there, so definitely check that out. Give her a subscribe. Appreciate everyone coming through right now. Let's see what else we got. We got Corey Costa saying, such a good woman, really the embodiment of what a true Christian is. Look at
Oh,
that. Much
nice.
love. And he must have seen, you know, I saw the video of, you know, I think I went on your Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, just because I was trying to get all your socials, and I got to see you doing the celebration, you know, giving yourself up, and you had that whole speech as to, like, what you were thankful for the year, and all the women were going around
Oh
and
yeah.
basically saying, like, what was going on, and you had the thought, like, hey, am I thankful for this? Like, you know, I've had a lot of crazy things happen this year as well. And, you know, you talked about just giving yourself, you know, essentially to the Lord and just letting it be in his hands. So that was a pretty impactful thing. I got to say, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and it's been literally the best year of my life and also the worst year of my life,
Mm,
easily on both ends.
right.
Which I feel like that's always how it goes. But yeah, it's been a good year, and Jesus is so good.
Love it. We got Crypto 7 in the house saying, great stream, great guest. Absolutely. Academatiated saying hello. GM Legends, that's coming from Pierce E. Thank you so much. What's 50x between friends?
Oh no.
It's a lot of money. Oh my gosh, yeah, dude. Like, could you just imagine giving your friend like, you know, $100,000 today, and then just like that's basically what I think happens when you give away 10,000x. You're
Yeah,
like,
basically. Basically. But it's okay. It's okay.
it's for the greater good. No, I definitely want to come out with a good a strategy with you as well, because I was fortunate enough to have been in the ecosystem for PulseChain and PulseX, so I think when it launches, we're gonna be able to do something pretty awesome here. Let's see what else we have real fast before we gotta hop off, because I know everyone's got to get going, you know. So we got Pierce Eats giving fire. Is anybody planning to go on the upcoming Hex cruise? Is that something you plan on doing? I don't.
I can't go. My
Yeah.
sisters, actually, me too. My sisters are graduating from college, and then
Hey.
I know, so that's really exciting for them, but I can't miss it. So I won't be there. Will you be there?
I will not. No, I don't. I don't travel much. We have. I got 4 dogs at the house, a cat, 3 snakes. We have, you know,
Oh,
2 kids and Rugrats. So the house is a full little thing over here for me. So I don't, you know, whenever I do get out, the last vacation was March of 2022 actually, and that was we went to Mexico, and it was just me and the wife, and oh my god,
wow. Fun.
we went there for like 3 weeks and just I mean, we just had an absolute blast the whole time. But looking forward to the next vacation, I can say that. But I think that
Yeah.
comes whenever we hit PulseChain. Because, guys, you got to understand, like, a 10x for a lot of folks is a lot of money. And I'm fortunate to be in that scenario as well. But I'm also going to be smart about it, too, because of luckily everything I've learned during this time. Yep, before, I've said it before. I can't afford not to invest in crypto. Exactly. Yep. I think Alan Fizme quotes you on that for sure. For sure, for sure. Good to see you, sir. Hello, everyone. Crypto is great. Let me see. We got Diehard Hexagon, Randy's mom in the house. What's up, Randy's mom? We got crypto is a great opportunity to enjoy life on a greater plane than the stock market. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. If you're young, deny stuff and invest big time. Love it. Love it, love it. Laugh my ass off. I got into ATX. I got in when ATX did. Oh, gotcha.
There
I'm
we go.
not.
That makes more sense.
Okay, that makes so much more sense, Alan. I was like, you got in when you got in. Good job, buddy.
Glad you got
We
in at
got,
least.
yeah, exactly. Glad you got in, buddy. We got Clifton saying, ATXicans, good to see you. Special guest, Fashion Coder in the house. Great stream. Always a pleasure. Absolutely. Question. This is coming from Alan Fizme. Thoughts on Tetra, and will either one of you, be using it to regain your time instead of having reminders to end stakes and restake or perform other strategies. Are you familiar with Tetra?
No, I'm not. Are you?
Neither am I, unfortunately. I don't have an answer for you on that. I would
Yeah, I
love to
don't
be able
know.
to provide a better answer, but I don't know. Is that the Matty Allen thing? Matty Allen thing? The Tetra?
No, I think
His is time. Yeah, time saves me. Time pays me, or something like that.
yeah, I think this is something else,
I don't
but
know
I don't know.
Tetra. Alan and I will have to look it up after the stream. How about that? I'll get back to you on that answer. We got crypto coins, UTA hexagon. Love it. Fashion
Oh,
Coder is
Utah.
one of my favorite hexagons. Utah
Yep,
hexagon.
I've met
UTA.
him.
What the heck? You actually got a chance to meet him?
Yeah.
Love
Uh
it.
huh.
It's so awesome meeting folks in our community.
It is.
And like especially like always the interactions that we have on stream are great, but yeah, meeting people face to face, so good. Another question: with the current baking meltdown, does it change your view on how crypto and your ecosystem in Hex is used and adopted? Do you think it has any impact on our ecosystem?
I don't think anyone that's in it, but I think it could potentially help people get into it.
Love it, love it, love it. I could see that being the case. Yeah. Hey, great stream. How was your onboarding? How has your onboarding changed throughout time? Number two, RH outrage marketing or humble marketing? Thanks. And that's coming from Logi33. So those are two last questions before you hop off, and then I'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay, let's see. Onboarding other people, I feel like I've always just onboarded people through Hex. I think it's the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
And so just showing them, what it could potentially be. And I have started using the hexcalc.net calculator. I've talked about this so much recently, but I love that calculator
Mm-hmm.
because it shows you like T-shares and what you're going to get, and then you get to put in the price of what it could be, and it's a visualization of what it could be. Someone put in the comments one time and they were like, it makes me feel like I'm already winning, and I think
Right.
that's why I like that so much. So for question one, that, and then question two, I don't honestly like care with the outrage marketing or not. I actually like seeing what he buys because I like stuff like that, and like I just think it's so funny. Like sometimes you buy
Of
the
course you
ugliest
will.
just because it's expensive. So honestly, probably I would prefer like the humble marketing, but I like seeing the stuff that he buys. So
For sure.
yeah, what about you?
So when it comes to the first question, onboarding, I have gotten rid of. I used to show people my wallet. I used to show people my portfolio. I used to show people the gains that I've had and when I got in and all that good stuff. I got rid of that. I stopped doing that. I said that doesn't need to be any of their business. They can, learn it the hard way and wait till the gains go up and ask me to join later, or they can, find out how it actually works. So beginning, I would chase people almost into trying to help people get into crypto. That was like my first little beginning parts of like onboarding, and then I realized that like if people don't want to join, they just don't want to join. Like what is my like unless they're ready to join, they're just not going to, right? So I got rid of that whole thing. If people aren't willing to at least ask what and dive in with more questions, it's like, what do you do? Oh, I'm retired because of crypto. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. That's it. If they don't say anything more, I'm not telling them anymore, right? It's like, that's it. And then if they start diving in more, then it's like, okay, cool. Let's set up a time. I'd love to show you what I do, how I help. You know what I mean? But that's what I do in terms of RH outrage marketing. I was always laughing at it. I love seeing the stuff that he did. The twerking next to the peacock, the shining of the walking out of the stores with like 100 different bags. Showing off his watches. I'm a big watch guy myself. Absolutely love watches. So every time he gets to do that stuff, I'm like, man, one day, because I'm gonna do that too, right? Forget about it. But he's also waited, 12 years with Bitcoin. So you got to understand, like he hasn't always been this way. It's not like he's always done this. It's another chapter in his life, and I see it as that. So I just take it as like this is another chapter, and I just get to read this story of Richard Hart's life, his book, and that's basically what it is. Someone, Pulse Debater says Beauty and the Beast, awesome. Pulse Bitcoin Lock says thanks for the Starbucks.
Of
So it looks like
course.
someone was able to capture that. And then, yep, agreed on Corey Costas crypto. Humble marketing, please. The PP talk is cringe. Yeah, the PP talk was a little bit much for me. I'll be straight up with that too. Like no one cares for that. No one wants to know anything about your anything
Yeah.
extremities, right? Just stop. It's like that was like more to it to where I was like, eh. And then for me, it actually got to the point where I was like, oh man, like I love him doing all the streams, but he just says the same 10 lines. He started talking over people.
Hmm.
It was a whole bunch of stuff. So, but I love the humble, man. This is back to the RH we all know and love, and I think everyone's gonna see a new side of it. And to everyone who's new in the ecosystem, get ready. But that was it for me. I would love for you to shill all of your channel real quick. I'd love for you to get out information real fast and have some fun, guys.
Awesome. Okay, so Fashion Coder on YouTube, and then Fashion Coder 6 on Twitter and Instagram. And seriously, Nathan, thanks so much for having me. This has been amazing. If you haven't subscribed to him, make sure that you subscribe to him. That your streams honestly are so good. And so thanks
Appreciate that.
for jumping into the community and like doing the things that you've done, because seriously, you add some immense value. So
Much
thanks
love,
for
seriously.
having me.
Absolutely, guys. I'm gonna let her hop off real fast, and then yeah, we're gonna have an enjoyable chat for the rest of the day. But guys, if y'all have any questions, hit us up in the comments down below. Hit us up on all of our socials. You can find them down in the links below as well. And we'll catch you next time.
Thank
Peace.
you. Bye.